Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Bahasham, Barakahakodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and whom I learned this truth from. And peace and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Habakkuk chapter 2, verses 1 to 3. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, Write the vision, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And the men of the Lord, the prophets of the Most High, chiefly through GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers that come in the stead of GMS, are standing upon their watch and writing down the visions of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi by going out onto the highways and byways to preach this word, as well as putting up video epistles on the internet so that the hopeful elect that hear the words of the prophets of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, as it says, that they may run when they readeth it. They hear of the terrible times of Jacob's trouble to come, and they're preparing themselves accordingly by doing whatever they can to stay in the good graces of their power, Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, so they can hope to have that protective hedge over them to be safe from those calamities. Verse 3, For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Everything that's been prophesied to take place in the scriptures will come to pass, and nothing will happen to stop these prophecies from coming to their fulfillment. And as it says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Sometimes these prophecies seem like they're taking their sweet time to come to their fulfillment, but know that we're on the timeline of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. We just have to wait and stay patient and endure all these things, and just do whatever we can to stay in the good graces of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi. So when these prophecies come to their fulfillment, we don't end up on the negative end of it. And one of the major prophecies that we're diligently waiting for is the mandatory implementation of the Charagma in Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 18. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, that he, being the elite rulers of the planet right now, who are of the nation of Esau, Edom, are these so-called white people. Some examples being the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, DuPonts, Gettys, Massimos, you name it, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a MARK, that Charagma, in their right hand or in their foreheads. And the Charagma is the RFID/NFC, MICROCHIPIMPLANT. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the Charagma, or the name of the BEAST, or the number of his name. When the Charagma is mandatorily implemented, you won't be able to do anything in society without it. You'll be seen as a social pariah, and it's even going to get so bad to where people will be faced with being put to death for not taking the Charagma. As it says up in verse 15, and he, that he again being the elites of the Edomites, had power to give life unto the image of the BEAST. And the image is the political, financial, and military aspects of this BEAST system we're currently living in, which is the last leg of the fourth beast in Daniel chapter 2, those iron toes mixed with miry clay, the reincarnated Roman Empire, the NATO-EU alliance that the US is a part of, that the image of the beast should both speak, and the major aspect of the image of the beast is the Charagma, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, point blank period. We're coming into some very serious times where we're going to need to have Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi on our side to get us through it, to get us through that hour of temptation. And what does it say in Revelation 3, I believe verse 10? This is Revelation 3 verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, the faith and the patience of the saints, diligently waiting for the prophecies of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi to come to their fulfillment, and not getting weak. As it said back in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3, though it tarry, wait for it shall surely come, it will not tarry. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Ultimately, the mandatory implementation of the charagma, where people will be faced with being put to death for not taking the charagma. And we know that some of us will be martyrs for not taking the charagma, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. But as it just said, if we keep the patience of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi, he will keep us from the hour of temptation, which is about to come upon the earth to try everybody. Let me see. I'm going to jump down to verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Again, to you sincere Akim and Akwat out there, we got to be on fire and doing whatever we can to please Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi. Because as it said, if you're lukewarm about it, you're half-stepping. You're half in the world and you're half in the truth. Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi is going to spew you out of his mouth, and you're going to be given over to this hour of temptation, and ultimately be destroyed by those nuclear-tipped ICBMs when they begin to be shot to the ends of the earth. 200 million alone, destroying the United States of America. And that's the ultimate judgment for receiving that charagma, as it says in Revelation chapter 14, verses 9 to 10. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his charagma in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. Those nuclear missiles, as well as the so-called laser beams, or that concentrated heat from the chariots of the Most High, which people ignorantly refer to as so-called UFOs, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, Yahawashi HaMashiach, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus Christ. And I opened up the video with these verses dealing with the charagma, as well as the prophecies of Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi. Though they tarry, they will come to their fulfillment. To preface some articles showing that the vision is definitely not tarrying, and with each passing day, we're getting closer and closer to the mandatory implementation of the charagma. My first article is on techfundingnews.com. This brain computer startup beats Elon Musk's Neuralink for implanting first device in patient. And hey, remember, the charagma would either be implanted in the right hand, though it can be in either hand, really. If you get that charagma anywhere in your body, it's a done deal for you. But as it stated, in their right hand or in their foreheads. This month, Synchron, a company that specializes in brain-computer interfaces, appeared to exceed Elon Musk's Neuralink after implanting its first device in a U.S. patient. Recently, Synchron successfully implanted its device into a patient, outperforming Neuralink by Elon Musk for the third time. Synchron's functioning by enabling the patient to write emails and texts using only their thoughts. The technology aims to enable communication for them even after they have lost the ability to move. A 1.5-inch device was successfully implanted into the mind of an ALS patient at Mount Sinai. How ironic that it was at Mount Sinai West Hospital in New York by the firm. I'm gonna jump down to this part right here. The Synchron and Neuralink implants the Synchron and Neuralink implants can be used immediately Both of them can translate human spoken commands into computer commands, which could be useful for persons with neurological diseases like Parkinson's or ALS. And while it's going to be a build-up to the mandatory implementation of the Charagma, they're going to use devices like this for goals like this to get more people easily susceptible to receiving the Charagma and seeing it as a benefit to society. Look at how much it's helping out people with neurological diseases like Parkinson's or ALS. Hey, it can even help people with paralysis, hearing issues, or blind people to have some function to their life again. This is a benefit to society. And that's how this Edomite's coming. Back in Revelation chapter 13, I'm going to jump up to verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. And an example of that were the 2 atomic bombs dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima during World War II. This man uses his pseudoscience and technology to deceive the people on the earth and show it as modern day miracles, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Implants that allow the blind to see, the deaf to hear, those with paralysis to have some sort of function again in society. His medical miracles, computers, cell phones, airplanes, all that, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the BEAST, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And that BEAST that had a wound by a sword and did live was the ancient pagan Roman Empire under the Edomites. But hey, it was wounded, but it lived. It revived itself ultimately into these iron toes mixed with miry clay today, the reincarnated Roman Empire, that NATO-EU alliance that the US is a part of. And with this pseudoscience and technological miracles that these Edomites have deceived the world with, you've got people following after them. What's the language you need to know to become an airplane pilot? English. What's the world reserve currency? The US dollar. A business suit is considered the most appropriate means of attire when it comes to doing business or anything significant. Shaving your face is common. Blonde hair and blue eyes is looked at as the beauty standard, etc., etc. An example of these different nations making an image to the BEAST. But again, things like the Synchron or the Neuralink implants or any other MICROCHIPIMPLANTs are just other examples of miracles that this Edomite's going to come with to deceive the people on the earth by, and to ultimately get them to accept that Charagma. To put it another way, the chip's goal is to make it possible for those with severe paralysis to communicate by thought, deceive them that dwell upon the earth with those miracles that he was able to perform in the sight of the image of the BEAST. Here's just one example. Let's go to another example showing not just the miracles of this, the so-called miracles of this Edomite, but the fact that with each passing day, we're getting closer and closer to the mandatory implementation of the Charagma. And this is an article on CNN.com. Paralyzed man uses MICROCHIP implanted in brain in the forehead to drive race car. A MICROCHIP implanted in German Aldan Zuniga's brain allowed the paraplegic man to drive a race car more than 9 years after he lost the use of his legs in an auto accident. I'm going to play this clip. And real quick, this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes, and also this is not a video giving medical advice or anything like that. I am not a medical professional, nor do I state to be.
Realtor.com is guaranteed the funnest way to search for.
Like your damn ads. Always got Eve acting like a clown and a fool. It's like your long ass ad.
At Pikes Peak International Raceway, high speeds and hard turns are nothing out of the ordinary. Neither are the skills and intense focus required to make it out unscathed.
It's an amazing experience.
This week, German Aldana Zuniga made it all look effortless, despite not touching the throttle a single time.
Since my accident, I don't have no mobility below my waist, so this is my first time driving the car, yeah.
9 years after that life-altering car wreck, Zuniga is using his thoughts to drive. It's a technological breakthrough pioneered by a team led by Colorado neurosurgeon Dr. Scott Fauci.
We're really proud of what he's done.
For more than a year, the group has worked so Zuniga can communicate between a microchip on his brain and a computer in the car.
The computer can pick that up, that particular electronic fingerprint, and feed that to the race car.
Zuniga can now use his mind to move the car in this specialized helmet.
Real quick, how ironic is that guy's last name similar to the last name of another Edomite out here? You know who it is.
To steer it, a task once unthinkable, now possible with focus and practice.
To be in it and just watch how you go through the track smoothly and it responds to what you think. It's just incredible.
So too are the possibilities for this technology later on.
We can use this potentially for driving an electric wheelchair, a golf cart, control a robotic arm. Once we develop that science can be used for all types of systems.
It's a finish line Zuniga can't wait to help cross.
Technology is advancing, so we gotta help put our part in it and make it become available for everyone.
And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles that he had power to do in the sight
God's work.
in the sight of the BEAST, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the BEAST, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Now I'm going to go to my last article on theconversation.com. Elon Musk claims his Neuralink brain CHIP could cure tinnitus in 5 years, but don't hold your breath. The human brain is said to be the most complex biological structure ever to have existed, and while science doesn't fully understand the brain yet, researchers in the expanding field of neuroscience have been making progress. Neuroscientists have made substantial inroads towards mapping the complex functions of the brain's 85 billion or so neurons and the 100 trillion connections between them. To put this astronomical number into perspective, there are upward of 400 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Enter Neuralink, a Silicon Valley startup backed by Elon Musk that has developed a neuroprosthetic device known as a brain-computer interface. And remember that other company, Synchron, has already gone on to human trials. Among other things, Musk claims this CHIP could cure tinnitus, the neurological condition that causes ringing in your ears, within 5 years. But is this possible? That's pretty much it with this article. You get the point. Yeah, but as we can clearly see, with each passing day, we're getting closer and closer to the mandatory implementation of the charagma. Again, at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it shall surely come. It will not tarry. And one thing that Apostle Tahar brought up that's very interesting is what the Strong's definition for the word forehead is in Revelation 13 verse 16. Pause this shit. Strong's 3359.
Strong's G 3359. Metopon. Metopon.
Metopon. And when we go to the root,
Strong's G 3326. Meta. Meta.
Meta. And what should come to your mind? The Metaverse by Facebook, where you need a virtual reality apparatus on your head, on your forehead, to access the Metaverse. Hey, don't be surprised when this Charagma, when they start marketing it too as a better alternative to more easily access the Metaverse, the Metapon. But that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope your sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.